He understands why I can't. To look at him brings back memories. I met Russell in 1987 while I was working in a doctor's office.
Excuse me.
Russell came in to have a tattoo removed. Russell would tell me how pretty I was. He made me feel very, very special. He made me feel like a person because I had a hard family growing up. It was very volatile. The first time I saw Russell was, oh my God, he's the bomb. He's nicely dressed. Hair is all, manicured and clean cut. He asked me if I would go on a date with him.
You got any plans this weekend?
I promptly said yes, and I gave Russell my telephone number. He would open doors, send me flowers, and I just thought he could take care of me. I thought Russell would be my knight in shining armor.
Call me.
Not knowing behind those baby blue eyes was the enemy. On my first date with Russell, we were walking around. Someone behind us grabbed my bum.
Hey!
I told him somebody touched me. Russell just turned around and knocked him out cold. And he asked his partner, did he want to be knocked out like that too? And the guy's like, no, I didn't do anything wrong.
Come on.
He claimed that he loved me. And he just did it to protect me. I had mixed emotions about Russell and his demeanor changing as a flip of a switch. I was very shocked. Part of me was scared. That should have shown a trigger to me. But I was so stupid. I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at him and his feelings for me. I let it go because I still wanted him in my life. I just thought I found my mate, and it just all spiraled down from there. He enticed me to come live with him in his little home, and that's when all the weird stuff started spilling out.
Yeah, everything's good.
When my family would call to talk to me, Russell would tell them that I did not want to talk to them. I couldn't talk to them.
Don't call here anymore.
Russell didn't want anything to do with my family. My parents did not like Russell at all. And he didn't like them because he thought that they were trying to control me. Russell liked to have me all to himself, just me and him. One day, he came home and he told me that he had a marriage license for us to be married.
Got a marriage license for us.
We talked about this.
I was like, I'm not ready for marriage right now. And he told me it had a 30-day expiration date. I felt like he was pushing me to do it.
You get married or not, it's simple as that.
Now or never, now or never. Well, at that time, I found out we were going to have a child.
Well,
I grew up in Catholic church.
can I see it?
I felt pressured. You do the deed, you gotta make a family out of it. I did go ahead and get married because we were expecting. But the only persons he invited to our wedding was his mother and father. My family didn't even know I was getting married because I wasn't allowed to talk to them. Russell thought that I was his property. I thought it would change Russell to have a family, to have children. I just wanted that love. But that was the starting point of things just going to hell. My biggest regret was to marry him To this day, I don't know why I didn't see the signs. I was celebrating our first Thanksgiving dinner as a family. I wanted the dinner to be perfect for me and for him. I lit candles and we had china, nice silver spoons. And I asked him how did he like it. And Russell said it tastes like prison food.
All I wanted was a good meal, and you couldn't even do that.
He really hurt my feelings. He was being critical of how I did it. I just felt like I didn't do it good enough for him. I was mad then. My first thought, well, you don't want to eat it, I'll put it in the garbage. And that's what I did. He got in the car and left. Later, I wondered why or how Russell had known that it tastes like prison food. Looking back on it now, I could tell that he'd been in prison before because he distinctively knows prison Thanksgiving food. If I had known the truth of Russell being in jail, I would have broken it off. I should have left then, but I didn't. I look back and I wonder why I didn't go. I had the perfect chance, but I missed it. This is a picture of my husband, Russell, myself, and our daughter. This is a happy picture. I remember when I had my daughter right before he left. Told everybody, oh, it's a girl, it's a girl. It strikes me, he looks like a loving father. It was just another lie. It's like my marriage never had a chance. Little did I know what my life was gonna spiral down into. Just hit the fan. In that picture is a hidden monster that didn't come out yet. I just wanted him to love me is all. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. Was someone to love me. I'm so sorry. Russell had a dark side. I never knew about it. It's a sexual thing with Russell. Russell liked to have sex when he wanted sex. One night when Russell came home, he was getting all goosey, touchy-feely. He told me he had a little surprise for me.
I got something for you.
And I said, well, okay, what is that? And that's when he brought out the handcuffs. No wasn't a word in his book. He didn't care if you said no. If I said no, he would hurt me. It was easier to do what he wanted than to fight back. He took the handcuffs, put the handcuffs on my wrist, attached it to the headpost of the bed. He was very aggressive. I just wanted Russell off of me, and I couldn't get him off. I was just laying there, afraid of the repercussions of telling him no. I just felt like a nothing. I was a nobody. I was just a piece of meat. When I looked into Russell's eyes, I can tell that he was satisfied because he got what he wanted. No means no. I don't care if you're married. Rape is rape. When you say no or get off of me, that means get the off of me. You feel dirty, you take a shower, you scrub yourself till your skin's raw. I'd scrub myself till my skin bled just to get that out of my mind. Russell would spend all the money we had and money we didn't have to buy drugs.
We're broke. Do you get that?
He stole very precious jewelry from me. He pawned a diamond heart from my parents. I was given a diamond heart 16th birthday present. And he just pawned it away. Russell stole a necklace, my class ring, my diamond ring, and diamond earrings, and pawned them so he can get drugs. I really tried hard to get him into rehabilitation. I told him, you need to get rehabilitated if you're going to come back to this family. He's like, you talk too much, you get into my business. Just shut up, shut up.
I said no!
And he grabbed me by my throat and lifted me off the floor. Everything went black. The next thing I remember, I was on the floor. When I woke up, he was just standing there, repeating, I told you to shut your mouth. I told you to be quiet.
You don't listen.
I realized this is not going to be a good situation. I need to get out. Well, I snuck out with my daughter, and I went to my parents' house, and they told me, I told you so. I was just beside myself. Why did I let myself get into this? And I asked God, why? What did I do? Love's not supposed to hurt. A lot of times Russell would leave without telling me why, or where, or how long. He'd be gone like 1 or 2 days. The police would call my home. Russell was arrested for doing drugs, having prostitutes. They gave him probation. Russell would tell me stuff like, no, it's not true. They're lying to you. But when Russell got out of jail, he gave me little trinkets and bracelets, day planners. When Russell brought me gifts, he told me, here, I found this for you. These were used items. They weren't brand new gifts. I knew they were stolen. I knew they weren't bought from a store. I believe Russell stole these items from women's purses. I felt like my life is starting to unravel more and more. Each day that passes, each lie he told. Knowing what I know now, it's possible that he was already raping and killing other women. He was in and out of prison a lot. That could have been my chance to leave, but I didn't. I couldn't afford it at the time, and I thought he loved me. But that was another lie to myself. I just wanted to be loved. I just wanted to be with somebody. But I stepped into an alligator's mouth, and he just chewed me up. One day, Russell told me to dress up and undress. He took pictures of me. It's humiliating. Knowing someone that you love so much, could you just do that? Treated me like a prostitute. As Russell was taking the photos, I could not see him. I couldn't see him, but I heard the camera flash. And he would tell me, oh yeah, that's a nice pose, that's a nice pose. He told me how beautiful I was, that I was special. He told me to smile, so I did.
Turn around.
I felt dirty, ashamed, ugly, disgusted. But that's the way Russell's mind works. Russell often humiliated me, but the photos told the story.
Well, look happy.
One day I was at home and I received a phone call from Russell. He told me that he was incarcerated Russell asked me to come bail him out of jail. I thought it was drugs or prostitution charges. And like a dummy, I went and picked him up. I found out that he was being charged with attempted rape and kidnapping. As it turned out, Russell went to work on his welding job. There was a girl having car troubles. Russell stopped to help her. He gave her a ride by coaxing her into his car. Russell tried to rape that woman. He didn't get that far because 2 men walked up to Russell and saved the girl from being raped and kidnapped. I felt angry. I felt disgusted at him. I just wanted to get in the judge's chambers and tell them, just keep him so I can get away. The judge only gave him probation, which I found sickening to my stomach. When we got home from picking up Russell from jail, it was like life as usual. Russell would often take my daughter on a ride late at night, and he'd be gone for a couple hours. I stayed awake till 2 or 3 in the morning just waiting on him. I had so many times to leave him. I just don't know why I didn't. I guess I just did not want to be alone. By this time, we were expecting our second child. I had 2 kids to take care of. I needed my children to come with me. When my little son came into the world, Russell and I was ecstatic. But then he accused me of affair with my employer, which was not true.
I know you're sleeping with him.
I mean, I couldn't go anywhere unless he knew. I had to tell him who, what, where, why, when.
How could I possibly go do that?
I felt like a hostage. Russell had a gun in the house, and he made sure that I knew where it was. Russell told me that if I ever left him, that he will hunt us down. I was too scared to run. I felt like a prisoner in my own mind and body. Russell wanted to show me that he was powerful. Russell wanted to show me how to kill a person. He brought out the knife. It was a medium-sized, flat blade. Russell said, I want you to do this in case something ever happens to you. And he put it up to my stomach. He said, you push the blade in and then lift it up so it'll tear the contents of your heart and your chest. That's what he told me.
You understand?
I wondered if he had done this to somebody else. It did make me scared because if he knows how to do that, is he going to do that on me? One time when Russell was in prison, I did move to a 1-bedroom apartment with my 2 children. Being away from Russell, I finally felt free. I felt good. I could breathe, but I knew he could find me. And he did.
So, are you running home from school?
One day I came home and there was a note, a yellow piece of paper note on my door. It was from Russell. He stated that I'm a no good mother. I'm unfit. I'm going to turn you over to DCF. You'll never see them kids again. When I saw the note, I got scared because I knew he knew where I live now.
Are you all right, Mom?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know how Russell found me, and I could not get away from him. And he followed me everywhere. I couldn't escape Russell. The memory of Russell frightens me. And I heard Russell calling my daughter's name.
Jennifer. Honey, are you there?
It gave me more anxiety. I was at my wit's end. At times, I felt like committing suicide because I just couldn't take it anymore. I'd cut my wrist. I sliced open my leg. Why I did it was to release the anxiety. I might get upset, but I don't want to cry. It's not going right.
Focus on me, okay? I'm right here. You are not doing anything wrong. It's going fine. I promise.
At one point, Russell started to disappear. He was in jail for drugs and prostitution. With Russell being behind bars, I feel a little bit safe. It was December. I obtained an attorney to get a divorce from Russell. The officer went to the jail, served him the paperwork. Getting a divorce from Russell was the best Christmas present I can get. I thought it would be done. I thought I'd be rid of him. I kept using my phone and my computer to track him down, just to make sure that he's still where he is. But in 2012, when Russell got out of jail, he went to my dad's house looking for me. I received a phone call from my dad, and he notified me that my ex-husband, Russell, came to his house looking for me.
What did you say?
He asked, "Well, do you know where she lives?" My dad said, "No, you don't know what you've done to her." And he says, "I'm sorry. Can I please go see her?" And he said no. My dad told me that Russell was not in his right mind. He's out of jail, and I don't want him finding you. I knew he'd find me. I knew it. One day I was outside. My son was in the backyard, and this car pulls up and parks. Russell pointed at me. "Here I am." Oh, he found me.
I'm back.
So I immediately went to the back gate and locked it from behind so he could not get in. And then Russell left. After that, looking over my shoulder was an everyday thing. One day I had an eye doctor appointment. After my eye doctor appointment, I got into the car and turned on the radio, and they had a news flash. The news flash was Russell Tillis has been arrested for murder, kidnapping, dismemberment of a body. I wanted to see it on the news to make sure that it was true. The second I walked in my front door, it was on.
Remains of 30-year-old Joni Lynn Gunter were found in the backyard of this Jacksonville home. The man accused of this brutal murder, Russell Tillis.
Disgusting. What did she ever do to him? She did nothing wrong. She didn't deserve what Russell did to her. I'm so sorry my ex-husband did that to you. I heard on the news that he was talking to another inmate, and he stated that I, Russell Tillis, killed that woman and held hostage 5 other women.
Tillis paints a vivid picture of what he did to multiple women, saying, quote, he didn't mind if they were there locked up in the room.
I would take them girls up, take them over there, lock them up in that room.
Tillis described raping multiple women over and over and allowed friends to rape the women as well.
I was watching the news constantly just to make sure that he was, yes, still in jail. He didn't escape. I watched news, 24/7. 3 different channels. The more I watched, the more I learned of what happened. It was just craziness. And his trial went on for years and years. And those years and years I wasting my mind on him. Not being connected with my family, my husband, my children. The authorities call the house a house of horrors. And, to me, that was scary. There's more than one Joni out there. Me and those other girls, we were just sex toys of Russell. Is that not disgusting or what? That's what I married.
Russell Tillis, sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison without parole.
It is the intention of this court that you never again be allowed to live among civilized people.
When Russell was found guilty, I felt release. I can't look at him. Why did he do this to me? I don't understand it. I did nothing wrong. Why, Russell? Why? You just hurt me so bad. Just looks like an old man that wouldn't hurt anybody. Looks like a monster to me. I'm hoping that Russell Tillis never gets releases. May he die in jail for the sin, the horrific sin. Not just on one person, not just on one female. I don't know why Russell spared my life. I just got lucky, I guess. I do not know how many victims Russell had and what he did to them. With Russell being behind bars, I feel a little bit safe. But there's always something in the back of my mind. He's gonna get out. Because he always did before. I would feel better if Russell was dead. Yes, I would. I want to finally get some sleep. I wished that we had a family. A normal family. But it wasn't to be. I had plenty of chances to leave. But I felt sorry for the guy. He played on my mind and my heart. How many women are still out there fighting the way I'm fighting? You put the blame on yourself. I put the blame on myself for letting myself get entwined with this person. It'll be with me for the rest of my life. I want people to know that there is a way out. I got set free. I prayed for strength before I did this program.
We thank you, Father God, that her story will touch another soul. Just give them hope that they can escape the prison in which they feel that they are trapped in. It's about saving souls. It's about setting souls free.
We prayed for it to be a release. We prayed for it to be a strength within me. and how it would affect the rest of my life. And Jeff is that for me. He has totally rolled my mind around for the better. Jeff and God are both my source of strength, especially God. When you give him your weakness, he'll reveal your strength. I'm a victor. I'm no more a victim. And that's what I want people to know. You can be a victor.
Rotten inside. It just kind of festered and got worse. I think Paige Conley was born evil, and I think she will die evil.
My gran was one of my favorite people in the world. And when I lost her because of Paige, I feel like I lost a part of my childhood. I think that the word evil is not quite strong enough. I really do think that there is a special place in hell for people like her.
This is a photograph of myself and my mom and Paige. Paige is my younger sister by about 7.5 years. My mom's name is Carlene Conley. My mom was a very warm, loving individual, adored all of us. Now I know that Paige had already been abusing my mother for a while at this point. Paige has her fingers clutching my mother on her shoulder pretty hard. You can kind of see her fingers are like a claw. Paige is desperately clutching and holding on to my mom. Like there's no escape. You are mine. Paige is wearing her private school uniform, which puts her at probably about 15 years old. We always lived on the east side of Cincinnati. My dad was an executive for a large corporation. He was working sun up to sundown, 6 days a week. My folks were having problems, and I think she was looking for a way to get attention, both positive and negative. It was attention. She was only there a couple months before she got expelled because of bad behavior and from skipping school. So my dad decided to send Paige to a boarding school. Once again, Paige made sure that it wasn't long before she was expelled. The boarding school that my parents sent Paige to was kind of a religious-based school. Paige was caught smoking pot and doing tarot cards. And of course, they look at that and they say, oh, that's the devil's work. My parents were livid when Paige was kicked out of the boarding school. I think for a while, I thought that Paige's behavior was directly associated with my parents splitting up. But then in hindsight, it just seems like it was so much more than that. Things that you think are not distressing or worrying can be very bad signs of something that is to come. This photo to me represents the beginning of Paige's criminal behavior. She became more and more of a monster as she got older. She just was kind of becoming trouble with a capital T. This is a photograph of Paige on her great adventure. She and a bunch of her friends decided that they were going to head to Lake Tahoe. Broke into my dad's apartment, took a stereo and some other things, took all his booze, and hit the road. She'd stolen his car. And my dad, against my mom's wishes, declares that the Honda is stolen because it's his car They make it as far as Colorado. Paige and her friends are arrested. And she spent the weekend in jail. And my dad flew out there and was there when she was taken to court and had to stand in front of a judge who reprimanded her pretty harshly. But she was still underage. And so there's not a whole lot they could do. I think he's hoping that she's going to learn a lesson from it. But he didn't consider it to be wrong. My mom thought that, Paige is a wounded little deer that has to be babied at all times. Looking at how happy Paige is in this picture and knowing how much trouble she's causing in this photo, it makes me want to punch her in the nose.
I think my mom tried really hard to still allow me to see my aunt, and she kept trying to give her chance after chance to, improve herself. She still loved her despite everything that had already happened, and she really wanted me to have a relationship with her. I had this birthday dinner. We had one of my favorite meals, which my gran made for me. And Paige became kind of jealous of the attention that I was receiving on my birthday. We were sitting down eating dinner. Paige decided that she was going to excuse herself to go to the restroom, and she was very audibly making herself sick. When she came back to the table, she told my gran that she was not feeling well and that they needed to leave immediately.
Now.
We were in the middle of eating dinner. We hadn't finished. We hadn't had any cake. My gran got up and she knew they had to leave because when Paige said it was time to leave, it was time to leave. She did this for several birthdays, including my dad's. And I know that it really hurt my gran that she missed so much time with us because of Paige. Everything always had to be about her. If everything was not about her, it was a giant problem. Even as a kid, I knew that this behavior was purposely manipulative. There was something wrong with her.
Paige resented the fact that she was not everything in my mother's world. So over the next several years, Paige was causing a multitude of problems in my mom's life. My mom started to kind of age before our eyes. I didn't realize it, of course, but that's when she started hitting Mom. I remember talking to my mom and telling her she's just sucking you dry. She just said, "What do you want me to do? She's my child. I have to take care of her." I mean, I certainly didn't really think, Paige is going to kill you.
I was probably around 9 years old, and my gran was going to make a special dinner for me because that was, one of our things. She went to the store and brought me with her because I loved grocery shopping with her. I was being her little helper. Paige called my gran. She told her that she had fallen down the stairs and that she was seriously injured. And my gran had to stop everything and come back to the house. And my gran just kind of abandoned her cart in the middle of the store to go to home immediately. And Paige called her probably 3 times in the 15-minute span that we were going from the grocery store back to the house. Paige was standing in the kitchen. I thought, well, if she's standing, then, she doesn't have any broken legs or anything. She's, not hurt that bad.
What took you so long? We got here as fast as we could.
Paige was showing where hurt, where she was injured.
Sweetheart.
My gran just looked at it and she said, "Well, it doesn't look that bad.
Why don't we put some ice on it?"
Paige did not like that answer. And Gran just kind of walked away. Paige wasn't very satisfied that my gran was not distraught about this. There really was no reason for us to rush home from the grocery store. We had thought that she broke her leg or something severe like that, and she had a few bruises, and that was it. I do think that Paige actually threw herself down the stairs just so my gran had to rush home to her and take care of her. That's how jealous she was of me spending time alone with my gran. There was no room for attention for anybody else. It was almost like psychopathic. She was purposely hurting herself just to get attention from people. One summer, my mom had hired Paige to babysit me and my younger sibling. She was somebody that always wanted to play with us and always wanted to take us places, always wanted to go to the park.
Don't spill her, I'm gonna get you!
We were very hopeful that the summer was gonna be a lot of fun. And it was at first, but Paige took it upon herself to start punishing us. And she would spank us.
What did I say?
And she would swear at us.
You think I was kidding?
My aunt went from very fun, would take us lots of places, would, get us ice cream and stuff. And then all of a sudden, she is spanking us and punishing us. When my sibling would get in trouble, I would have to sit there and watch Paige spank them. And it made me really uncomfortable that that was a constant threat at that point. When my mom would pick us up from being babysat, my mom could sometimes tell that we were kind of upset or that we were just extra quiet and we weren't talking about how great of a day it was.
Hey guys, how was it?
At that point, not enough of the pieces of the puzzle had kind of, locked together as far as my sister's behavior. So I wasn't really afraid for her to watch my kids until one day, one of my kids told me that Paige had been spanking them. And I remember confronting her about it. I said, it's not okay for you to do that. It's not your job to do that. And you have no right to spank them. And she got really angry. I said, well, I don't think this is going to work. And so I fired her.
What?
Her eyes got real narrow, and she got just kind of a mean, stony look on her face. Her hands kind of clenched. She just looked at me with just this really vengeful sort of a glance, and she stormed off. I became a lot more careful about leaving Paige with any of my kids. I was unsure how she was going to behave. And I wasn't sure. I wanted to find out. If my mom was around, it was okay for my kids to be there because I knew that she would do whatever she had to do to protect my kids.
Every time that I went to visit my gran, Paige would ruin all of my memories. Paige had really bad insomnia. She would stay up for days and days on end. Paige used to try to play this game with me where I would stay up for as long as I could. I would be sitting on the couch watching the TV shows with her, and, my eyes would start to get really heavy, and she would look over at me. She would glare at me and look really annoyed with me. She would slam her hand down on the couch or on the pillow to, jolt me awake. And I guess that worked because it would scare me into being awake for a few more minutes until I would start to nod off again. And this particular night, Paige got really angry with me, irrationally angry with me because I could not stay up longer.
What is going on down here?
Gran brought me upstairs and she tucked me in. And that's when Paige came upstairs trying to keep me from spending time with her and was just becoming really aggressive about it.
Hey, wait,
Paige started trying to push through the door, that's when my gran locked the door, started banging on the door, and she became really angry.
It's all right. Come here.
Paige was screaming, "Taylor, come out, and I just want to spend some time with you." And then she was screaming and accusing me of not loving her anymore and not wanting to spend time with her.
What? You hate me now, Taylor? Say it to my face!
Paige started trying to break the door down just to get to me. I was very scared. I was crying.
Open the door!
My grandma kept telling me it's okay, nothing's gonna happen to you. I'm not gonna let her hurt you. And she just laid with me and held me. When Paige finally stopped banging on the door and stopped trying to break the door down, there was this really eerie silence. I really thought that she was gearing up to do something worse. And eventually I just kind of fell asleep in my grand's arms. My gran was scared of her. It was weird to me to see the two different sides of Paige, like Jekyll and Hyde. It was like this, switch had flipped and I had no idea who she was. When Paige got that wound up, you never knew what she was going to do. One of my most vivid memories with Paige was when she chose me to come with her to pick up a puppy from the animal shelter. And we got back to the house and I could tell that my gran did not know that this was happening. My gran was starting to get really agitated with Paige, telling her that, she needed to take the dog back. They were not prepared. She did not have all the supplies for a new puppy. My gran asked me to take the puppy outside to go to the restroom while they talked. After a while, I walked in the house and immediately saw that Paige had my gran pinned to the kitchen counter, and she had a ceramic bowl above her head and was trying to bash my gran's head in with this bowl. As soon as she saw me, she dropped the bowl. My gran tried to give me her phone and tried to get me to call police, and Paige grabbed the phone and threw it across the room. All I knew was that my gran was scared, and that meant I needed to be very scared. And I ran outside. Paige's car was sitting in the garage, and I got in the car and locked the car doors. And I looked down in the cup holder, and Paige had left her cell phone in the car. I called my mom and told her what was going on, and I asked her to call the police.
Paige is attacking Grandma. She's got her pinned against the table. She won't stop hitting her.
My mom told me that everything was going to be okay. She was going to get there before the police could. I needed to go back in the house to see if my gran was okay. When Paige saw me, she grabbed me by the arm and she had me sit on the couch. She pulled up a chair and she was just staring at me. Paige had this really feral look in her eye that made her look like it's like wild animal. My gran told Paige to leave me alone. You're scaring her. Please just let her go. Leave her alone.
Paige, you didn't do anything wrong. Stop it.
Paige looked at me with these really dead eyes and asked me if I was scared of her yet. I really thought that Paige was gonna hurt me or even kill me. And that's when I heard my mom's voice.
Paige is threatening my kiddo. I'm not sure what I would have done in that instant if the police hadn't knocked on the door and announced, "Police, let us in." That stopped everything. My daughter runs to me. Paige just looked angry. And I just remember her slamming down to the basement. My mother refused to press charges. The police left. Mom just looked exhausted, but sighing and sort of hanging her head and saying, you probably should just take Taylor home now. Paige is beyond just troubled and needy. She's a very dangerous problem, and that we all are in danger from her. I am not sure what What's going to happen? One Sunday evening, the phone rings and it's my mom. And she's sobbing into the phone. She's saying, I can't get her to stop hitting me. And I just looked at my husband. He knew something was wrong. I said, we will be right there. My husband and I rush into my mom's house. And you see Paige, and she's kind of walking back and forth, sort of pacing. And she's sort of wild-eyed and kind of talking to herself. And she looked absolutely bonkers. She, with a knife, was hitting a countertop over and over and over again, gouging the countertop on the island and just leaving just these giant cut marks in it.
Hey, it's me.
My husband said to her, put the knife down. Let's go talk. And she kind of realized that we were there and intervening. My husband, took the knife out of her hand and was trying to get her to sit down, and he was trying to take care of her. I ran upstairs to check on my mom and make sure she was okay. And she's sitting in her little chair next to the bed, and she's cowering. She just looked terrified. She told me that Paige had been hitting her and had threatened her with a knife when Mom had run upstairs and locked the door. Paige kept banging up against it and was trying to break the door down. I don't know what would have happened if she hadn't been able to put that door between herself and Paige and managed to call me. My mom was being terrorized in her own home. I said, you can't have her live in here anymore. I said, it is just not safe for you.
Paige has got to go.
She's like, you guys go on home. I'm sorry I bothered you. That's what she said to me. I'm sorry I bothered you. And I'm like, you were under attack in your home. And that's not okay. My mother would not let me call the police. She would not let me take her to the hospital. And you feel like your hands are tied. It's a sickening feeling. This is a photograph of the countertop that Paige was stabbing the night that Mom called and said that Paige was hitting her. I was shocked when I saw what Paige had done to the countertop. What if that wasn't a countertop? I mean, what's next? This picture is Paige's anger, her hatred, her rage, her evilness. That was a scary prelude to what was to come. It's a Saturday afternoon. Mom calls and she's crying and she says, I need you to come over. I've called the police. I get to the house and the police are already there. Mom's got bruises and welts on her face.
Oh my God, Mom.
And she's got a great big, huge bruise on her arm. There's a broom nearby with like a metal handle. And she tells the police officer and me that Paige had been hitting her with this broom handle. I asked Mom, I said, do you want to press charges on her? And she said, no, I'm not going to press charges on her. Everything's okay. She's just kind of bruised and battered and sore. Meanwhile, there's paramedics coming to take Paige to the hospital. Paige is acting crazy, for lack of a better word. She was very combative. She would kind of lash out. She's trying to get loose. She's got her head whipping every which way. Everybody is a SOB and this, that, and the other. And, you know, just acting absolutely bonkers. They told us they will keep Paige in the psych ward for a minimum of 24 hours. We felt pretty confident that we at least had a reprieve of a day from Paige. I was going to do everything I could to convince my mother to not let her back in. I told my mom, I can't let her back in here. She's going to keep hurting you, and it's not going to stop. Paige was in her early 30s when these sort of episodes were occurring. I was really frustrated by the fact that Paige could basically get away with anything she wanted. There were very little consequences, if any. She's a fully grown adult who should be out of the house, have a job, have a life. But she believed that Paige was dependent upon her, and that Paige needed her more than anything. And Paige took advantage of that.
Hello?
And then we get the phone call from Paige saying, come and pick me up. I just remember being shocked and saying, I thought you were on a hold and it would be at least 24 hours. And she's like, oh no, they've let me go already. I remember telling her, we are not coming to get you. You're not welcome here right now. I called my husband and I had him bring me some stuff, including a gun. But I felt safer knowing I had one if something were to escalate. Paige had actually broken down and contacted my dad and asked for money to be put up.
Father, we are gathered here for this opportunity to share a testimony that Terry is given the privilege to speak what has kept her imprisoned, and that she has the opportunity to be set free.
I do have nightmares about Russell. They're vivid nightmares. He's trying to choke me and get on top of me.
We thank you, Father God, for your Holy Spirit to be in this place.
Well, Jeff's a man of God. Jeff gives me strength. He tries to help me remember.
I ask for your anointing to fall upon this place, to be prevalent and to be an anointed filming of Terry's testimony. In Jesus' name I pray it. Amen.
Amen.
Prayer, for me, relieves anxiety. No one understands what I feel and what I felt. I was a prisoner. I have mental disabilities. I blame Russell for my mental situation. He took away my sense of being. He took my mind. I just feel like I'm a nobody. Emotionally. Mentally. I lost everything. I lost my own person. I lost me. That's when I learned that he is a monster. Pretending that everything was okay. To see his face just triggers in my mind. You know, he did this to you. He did this to you. You know, some people, they say, why can't you just let go and let it be? Nobody.
It's taken a very long time to heal enough to be able to talk about what happened. It's not a pretty story. My mom was murdered by my sister. A domestic violence situation isn't always between partners. And I just want people to know that it could be your child that could hurt you. We had the same parents. We had the same upbringing. I turned out decently, but something within Paige was just not right from the get-go. I mean, something was just...
Fred Bowen has a gun to his head. For 5 hours, he lies out on a grassy area holding the gun.
This is the first time I'm telling my story because I feel that I can help someone else. I wasn't ready for over 20 years to do what I'm doing today, to talk about it.
Police had tried to negotiate with...
In a hotel. And that's where she was staying, was in a hotel. I was nervous that somehow or another that Paige might try to come home. If I could have protected my mom, I would have shot her in a heartbeat. Mom gave in. She let her back in. I'm like, why did you do that? Mom just told me, she's like, she's my child. And I have to take care of her. It was a horrible codependent relationship. It was just an ugly, vicious cycle that just went on and on and on. We couldn't get Mom to stop caring about and for Paige. Her love and her devotion, you know, they were her greatest faults. Paige was proving herself to be more dangerous and unhinged even. It was getting more frequent and more horrific all the time. My son's birthday and Paige's birthday are one day apart. We kind of always, you know, combine the two of them and have just a big birthday dinner celebration. We're back at our house and Mom and I are talking about the birthday dinner. And Mom just said the oddest thing to me because I was asking her, I said, I know your car lease is coming up soon. I said, you know, what are you going to do with that?
Have you given it more thought?
To the car?
And she just kind of looked at me and just said, yeah, I don't think I'm going to need that car much longer.
But you need a car, Mom.
And I said, what do you mean? She's like, I just don't think I'm going to need it. And it was just kind of an odd, weird kind of thing to say. And I was like, okay, you know, and I just kind of brushed it off.
It's getting late.
We just chit-chat a little bit more. And then Mom is getting ready to go and she's kissing and hugging everybody goodbye.
Taylor, come give Grandma a hug.
I thought that my gran seemed particularly adamant about everybody coming to give her a hug and saying goodbye and everything. Looking back, I really think that she knew that something was going to happen to her that night.
And it just felt really strange. I kind of feel like she was saying goodbye to all of us, like a goodbye. I woke up that morning to Taylor. You know, she was basically shaking and yelling at me to wake up. Mom, the police are here. You know, wake up, you have to come downstairs. Open the door and, you know, there is an officer standing there and he says, I need to speak with you. I remember even asking the officer, you know, what did Paige do now? I knew in my gut, in my heart, that Paige had finally killed her. And then he, as gently as you can ever tell anybody, told me that my mom was gone and that my sister had been arrested for murdering her. I just remember just sitting there, just crying, and Taylor's crying, and I didn't know what to say or do or think or feel. I just felt sick. Paige answered the door, said that she had been taking a nap and came upstairs from the basement and found her mother dead on the floor. My sister is completely covered, mouth, shirt, arms, legs, everything in blood. No one understands why this person would be completely covered in blood if they were coming upstairs from a nap. Then she backtracked and told them that drug dealers must have broken in and hurt her mom because they couldn't find Paige.
There were people that have things out for me.
What people have things out for you?
Former drug dealer.
Former drug dealers? And why is that? You owe them money?
First of all, I don't know how those poor detectives could bear to sit in that room and listen to her make up these absolutely ridiculous stories, one after another. And that doesn't work. So then she tells them that there were 3 girls trick-or-treating and it's March. No way, no how that could happen.
I answered the door and there was 4 or 5 little girls who were maybe 10, 12, I mean, guess for the funny. They said, hey, trick or treat and all this. And I literally was like, what?
I don't think a single person in that room believed a word she was saying.
I want you to be honest with me, okay? Did you do this to your mom?
Oh.
Okay. And I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm not trying to be mean to you.
I know you're not. I'm sure I look very guilty.
Your story is not making sense, okay?
She just flat out lies. Did you do this? No. It makes me just want to throttle her. You know? I mean, that's the Paige I knew, right there. This is a picture of Paige right after she murdered my mom. I feel sick. She looks like somebody who slaughtered a person. This is my mother's blood. That is my mother's blood. And this person is the one who killed her. There's nothing behind those eyes. I've never seen this photograph before. It's sickening. I don't ever want to see it again. Later on, I learned, what had happened that evening. Mom had returned to her house after leaving all of us, and Mom had asked Paige what she wanted for the combination birthday dinner, and Paige wouldn't give her an answer. So my mom made lasagna, which at the time was my son's favorite meal. Paige was very, very upset about it, that it wasn't what she had wanted. And so she and my mom got in a verbal argument. Paige grabbed the knife block and it hit my mother in the head with the knife block, and then proceeded to stab her 79 times. And she bit her dozens of times. My sister obliterated my mother. She broke off knife tips in my mother. How much do you hate someone to do that? To stab them 79 times? Paige is an absolute monster.
I think it's hard to imagine any human being able to act that way, especially somebody that you knew and somebody you loved and were close to. When Paige killed my gran, she took away possibilities, of my gran seeing me graduate from high school and college and me getting married and her seeing her great-grandchildren. I still have nightmares. I'm on PTSD medication that is specifically for having night terrors. I would be dreaming that Paige was standing in my room watching me sleep. It really felt like she was haunting me, like I was never going to escape her. And even though she was locked up in prison, she was still tormenting me. I think that she could kill again. She's done it before. And she probably holds a lot of anger towards us now. She would have absolutely nothing to lose if she came after us. The worst that could happen is she goes back to jail where she has friends and she has meals and she has a bed and she has everything that she needs right there. I think that if anybody were to be a target, it would be my mom.
I'm not afraid for myself. I have never been afraid of Paige. I fear for anyone who comes across her. I have absolutely no desire to see Paige or hear from her. And actually, she's not allowed to contact us. I think that she already knows that she disgusts us, disgusts me, that I think she's an animal. I think whenever you're subjected to any kind of tragedy, it changes you. And I think you have to eventually choose for yourself if you're going to let that destroy you or let it make you stronger.
Bowen all afternoon. When talks break down, police move in.
One of my brothers told me to go ahead and do it. He told me the past couple of months, don't you ever let no one keep you from telling your story. It's your story. The other family members don't know, but they will when they see this.
First, a flashbang, a puff of smoke, a distraction. Due to the nature of what happens next, we will stop the tape here.
Hope they feel what I feel. Like I want to just be a family. That's all I ever asked for. I hated my father. I knew that he was a predator. He was an evil person because he did evil things. Only evil is going to do evil. I didn't ask to be born into this evil spirit that took place and messed up my family. Things happen so crazy in my life, and I'm just not happy about a lot of it, but I keep pushing forward. I'm damaged, but I have hope that God will just come and change everything. I'm not a hateful person, and I will never be my father. I will never be my father. I think it was Freddie that took the picture. I can't believe it's still here. Like, it was so long ago. It was my mother and my sisters and brothers and I. I think we were just all about to have, I think we were having a picnic, about to have a picnic in the backyard. Yeah, I remember this picture. This is the time where I felt family. Our home was a great big house. Freddie had 8 kids with my mom. Freddie wanted us to call him Freddie instead of Dad. It was like Jekyll and Hyde. We didn't know what he would turn into every day.
But the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them.
But because of our religion, no one suspected his behaviors. People thought they knew my father as this kind of man when he had 2 sides. At home, he was a monster. My father was very selfish, as I learned. On Saturday mornings, we'd get up and have our breakfast. Freddie would have days off on the weekends sometimes. And kids sometimes are, I think he wanted to look younger all the time. He didn't want to look like he had so many kids. Freddie was very well liked in the community. My father was trying to be a Jehovah's Witness. He didn't drink. He didn't smoke cigarettes. He didn't do drugs. When I was younger, he made me feel safe at first. When he came home from work, I always used to be happy to see him because he'll tell me to take his clothes to the washer and I can have the change, any money in his pocket. Everything was kind of, okay until my dad started having Bible studies.
Whoever disregards discipline comes to poverty and shame.
Things start changing in our household.
Whoever spares the rod hates their children.
I'm left there with him if my mom had to go make an errand at the store. Freddie wanted peace on his days off. But my sisters and brothers, they were all like playing, screaming, having fun. The noise as kids, he wouldn't like that at all. He wanted us quiet so he could hear his music. He would line us up on the couch and he'll put tape on our mouth, gray tape, that can keep our mouths closed. The way that he put the tape on our mouths, he pushes it on our face hard. It was painful. He didn't take it off slow. I definitely was afraid of my father because you can tell something's wrong. Freddie used power and fear to control us. One day he came in the house from work. He was happy. And he showed my mom the paddles that he made. And we were looking at them too. He had a few paddles. He had at least 3. The ones that are thicker than the other, like this long, and they would be this wide. And they have holes going down the row. When he came in with the paddles, he was so happy. I never seen him so happy. That's the way he wanted to discipline us next, to see if we would listen to him. He did use them right after he made them. One of my brothers took a record to school for show and tell.
Who gave you permission?
No one.
And you thought that was okay?
Freddie went crazy. Why did you take it? And my brother's trying to explain, because of show and tell. I had nothing to show. I didn't have anything.
I don't care who it's for. I don't raise no thief.
That was very painful to watch. So sometimes I would go in the closet.
Get over here.
Just shut the door because I didn't want to hear him. Sometimes I would even put a pillow over my ears because I don't want to hear pain.
Please, Dad, I'm sorry.
Now shut up.
Ah!
My phobia now about closed spaces, I got it because of being in closets and trying to hide myself from things.
Are you trying to do that?
I'm not.
When he used the paddle, he would tell us to touch our ankles and keep our hands down there and don't move them. Because if you move them, I'm going to hit you again. Hearing the wax and hearing the pain and the cries, it was just horrible. My mom would finally say, Freddie, stop, stop. And then when he put the tape on my mouth, I felt scared because I don't like feeling like I can't breathe. here's this big grown man putting tape on little kids' mouths. And I just didn't understand it. It was just terrible. When we're all sitting around with tape on our mouths, he's usually looking for an album. He's probably on the phone, or he's probably eating a sandwich. But he's making sure that we're not going to cry out loud. If we tried to get up, he'll hit us, and we had to sit back down. He's going to grab you and tell you to be quiet, shake you up a little bit. We understood to do what he wanted. And when we're done crying, he just ripped it off. He just started whipping me with the belt all over. Every hit he did, I would just want him to stop. I was saying, okay, daddy, okay, just crying, I'm sorry, okay. Only thing I can think of is, why is my dad doing this kind of stuff to me? And he kept whooping me until he took a break. And I'm screaming, I'm crying. Mom, where is you at? When he took a break from whooping me, she came and she said, you guys need to tell your teachers. Okay. And your counselors at school. Tell the teachers. Tell someone. She could tell his behavior was erupting a little bit differently. I just looked at her, crying because I'm still in pain. I was scared to do it so he took my arms and he started scrapping them up, tied it tight. And then he tied me with my ankles next. So I was tied like a roasted hog. He said he had to whip me, and he wanted to read the scripture to me about spare the rod, spoil the child. So he read it to me. And after he read the scripture to me, because I thought I was going to get another beating. It's a question that I always had in my mind about my mother, why she wouldn't tell. I always thought that she was scared. And later on through life, she did tell us, y'all just don't know how afraid I was of him. She used to say that to us a lot. And she was very much trapped in the relationship. My mom had all these children. How's she gonna get out there?
Exactly what I'm talking about.
I know that my brother wouldn't do that, because you have to be out your mind to take money from Fred.
You know what you took? You gonna keep lying to me?
No, I'm not.
You gonna keep lying?
But he would take my brother and say, where is my money?
You know what I'm talking about. You keep playing dumb.
And then he says, come here, I'll tell you what, but I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you why you're not gonna touch the money anymore.
Let's go.
We all followed my brother into the kitchen. And I'm like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna take a knife? Is he gonna cut his hand off?
I know you stole it.
I didn't.
Stop lying to me.
He would take him to the stove. And he eventually stopped. But Freddie never showed remorse. A man that does that to his children, he's a coward, because we're just children. He wanted to scare us. So it was a Saturday. We were all supposed to be in bed. We all knew that. But we were playing with a blue ball. And the ball rolls down the stairs. My father asked who threw the ball downstairs. And I said, I did. Discipline, because you can discipline someone by putting them in a corner. But he's just making us suffer. One day, my father had money that came up missing.
I know you stole it.
One of my brothers had a habit of stealing candy bars from the store. So he assumed that it was the brother that was stealing the candy bars.
So what?
You know,
At the time, I would be scared too, because he would do things to make you afraid of him. Like, you're not going to tell. He always had some type of rageness about himself. and he couldn't control his rage. He snaps, like it's like his way or no way. One time, me and my mom and my dad was together going to go on one of his trips to do a job. And someone trying to pass him basically did cut him off.
What the hell was that? Did you see that?
And want to put his hands on fire. Come here, give me your hand. Get up here. Bring it up here. And he'll just keep going like this.
Stop! We didn't do anything!
My brother's screaming, and we all screaming, no, Freddie, don't.
Stop it, please!
Making us all cry, screaming and hollering and telling him to stop. And he's just saying, you want to steal? I'm going to teach you not to steal. I'm going to teach you not to steal.
I'm gonna teach you what happens when kids steal things.
My brother was trying to pull away from the fire. He got upset about it.
Hey, pull over!
He just snapped. What I seen Freddie do was get out the van. He start arguing with the man.
Hey man, you almost killed us!
Why don't you just calm down?
No, you calm down!
And he started punching him real bad. Just unstoppable punches. And then my mom was screaming, get back in the car! Please stop, stop. And he just didn't want to stop. What I seen was a man that was enraged, and he wanted to show that he can win. I've seen it at our own home, how violent he can be. No one can stop him. My mom was saying, come on, because the police gonna come. And that's when he let up, left the man there on the ground. When he got back in the truck, I seen him just laughing and talking about her and take care of us. So she stayed in it under his control. I was mad at why am I in this family? So I'm just mad because I'm in this family, knowing that every day it's going to be this way till somebody finds out. The things that he would do wasn't spankings. It wasn't, and we were like, no, stop. Please don't, please don't. And he just wouldn't stop until he got enough of scaring him. And then he stopped. My brother didn't do it. I believe that my father wanted just to find a way to abuse someone because he wanted to let off steam. Just because he wanted to show his power of control. I wanted to tell people, but at the same time, my father was becoming more infested of evil. We couldn't have a regular summer. In the summer months, he would make us wear hot shirts. All of the girls in the family, we were darn near wearing turtlenecks. But we couldn't wear tube tops like the rest of the kids on the block. They'll look at us and say, it's hot. Ain't you hot in that? But I'll say, it's what Freddie says we have to wear. At the time, I didn't know why he would do that. Looking back at it now, Freddie was very sick. Freddie was having feelings about us, and he's trying to make us cover up so he don't take advantage of his own child. To put on something to cover ourselves would make him, I guess, feel better about not looking at us as much. I noticed that my mom at 8 or 9 was, when he put all these fans everywhere, we didn't know what was going on. I think that now that I'm older, I know why he did it. The fans would block out noise. He did it to get ready for his next phase. This one night, my mom was gone to the store. I came in 3 minutes late. You had to be in at 8 o'clock. And I came in a little late from playing with one of my little friends. He said, "You're late coming in." And he's behind my ear telling me, "You go downstairs and take off all your clothes because I'm ready to whoop you." We had a finished basement in our home, so Freddie would have the Bible studies conducted there. But I would describe that basement as a place of evil. So when I lift up the waterbed mattress, I see naked pictures. And they were graphic. They were in different sexual poses, but the people in the pictures were sedated, like they were asleep. And when I was a little girl, he asked me to go get a briefcase. He'll have 2 briefcases. One will be full of congregation magazines, and one will be full of naked women, all different color women, and it was filled with them. I was just so shocked. I was sick. Like, why am I seeing this? It's like he wanted me to see these things. In my 9-year-old mind, I thought that he was going to try to do something to me. As I got older, I believed it to him, and he hugs me. I had my hand like right here, didn't want him to really touch me. And he says, "Don't tell no one."
Let's keep this between us. Understand?
And I said, "Okay." And I wanted to just die. I really hated them even more. I feel like I'm one of the daredevils in the family. When it comes to family, you save them. You love them and you save them. Because their family is all you have. One day, I seen Freddie playing with my sister. And they were just playing catch, and I heard her laughing, and he's laughing. But when my sister threw the ball, it was coming towards his face. So he ducked, get a little white pill, and she'd be knocked out. Freddie would, as I remember, give my mom something to keep her nerves calm, something that would put her to sleep. The doctor said that she needed it because her nerves were bad. You know, having so many kids, I believe that's why. But he'll give her a glass of water and make sure that she's taking her medication. She takes it, she falls asleep with the fan on. And as he put her to sleep, he's waiting a couple hours to make sure she's knocked out. And in the summertime, he had us all have fans in every room in the house. And he was just happy. He was pretty much bragging. I just feel that he was just out of control and out of his mind. Don't no normal person do something like that. I knew that he was a predator because of the other things that he done. Freddie would ask if I would clean his room. And one day I was changing the sheets, and I had to lift up the waterbed mattress to put the sheet around it. And then all of a sudden I heard was a crash. My sister accidentally threw a baseball through a window.
Why'd you do that for?
He got upset.
Come here.
He started exploding. He started saying, "Where's my belt? Where's my belt?"
Now where's my belt? Go get my belt.
I came to a point where I didn't care no more. I didn't care what was going to happen to me. No, I just wanted to do something to save my sister.
Get away from her!
I grabbed the belt and I told him, "You're not going to hit my sister." So he didn't end up whipping her. But when I grabbed that belt, he looked at me and had me pressed against the wall. And he said, "If you do anything else like this again, I will kill you." He said, "Don't you ever stop me from doing anything that I want to do. I will kill you. Do you understand that?" And that was probably one of the first times that he ever said he was going to kill me. I just went upstairs and cried. I always felt like he's not done. I always feared that we were going to be hurt in some kind of way from all the threats that he used to give my mom. One day we come home from school, and as soon as we get to the door, Mom is saying, "You gotta leave, you gotta go. Freddie's gonna kill everybody. he's really gonna kill everybody. So you guys can't stay here. I need you to take this food. And we're going a few blocks away from the house to her sister's house with the food. And all because of him feeling like he wanted to kill everybody this particular day. I'm gonna kill you! My mom, she's in the house just because this evil took over the good. He took me to the basement and he has no shirt on and he tells me to come to him. And then he whoops me with my panties and bras on. Just going back and forth with the belt. And I'm crying and I'm saying, stop. Could you stop, please? And he would whip me for at least 10 minutes. The kids were up in their rooms watching TV with the fans on. The fans are always on. And no one would hear me in the basement getting whooped. He was sweaty and whooping me in the hot basement. He was enjoying it. I felt humiliated. I felt like sick. And after he whoops me, he wants to hug me. And he tells me to come to him. So I go, brother gets on the phone. He said, Freddie's dead. I said, what do you mean Freddie's dead? He said, they shot him. I said, what happened? He said, he killed the woman he was dating.
Fred Bowen has a gun to his head. Police believe he killed his fiancée, 41-year-old Yvonne Thompson.
He wanted to marry her. And she told him, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to marry you. And that upset him. He went in a rage. He went to the van and he got the gun. And then he went back in to argue with her about why. And he couldn't handle the word no. So he shot her twice in her back.
Police
with him, talking him out of it. And when he was done being so angry, my mom would come and pick us up. All I know is that this episode happened a few times. His explosive behaviors just got to the point and he wanted to take it out on his kids. We couldn't come home because he didn't want to hear us. He didn't hear our voices. I'm thinking he's no longer my father. That's what I thought. I wanted my father to die. I wanted him to be dead or gone from our house. I felt if he was dead, that we would no longer have to suffer. I had a boyfriend when I was 16, and I told him about the stuff that would happen in our house. I said, I wish he was dead. He said, well, y'all need us to do something to him? He was in a gang. It could have happened easily. I thought about having him kill my father. I paused for a minute and said to myself, this could be a way out of the situation. But I also thought about what could happen to me. I said, don't. They no longer will allow him back there. And my mom and my father start growing apart in their marriage and separated. I learned that he had a lady in the neighborhood that he was starting to date. And I heard that he was going to move to Minnesota to marry this lady. Last time I saw Freddie, he told me that I'm going to be leaving town. I won't be here too much longer. And I said, okay. And I said, you take care of yourself. I gave him a half hug. I said to myself, he was going to have a relationship and it's going to be abusive. But I never met the woman that he fell in love with. I would have warned her about his abusive behaviors. To be honest, I felt that someone was going to get hurt. I felt like someone is going to die. I haven't seen him for years after that. Years. I had moved from Indiana to Texas. Just moved into my new apartment. Called to tell my mom that I had a new apartment. My mom gave my brother the phone. When my brother kill him, because we're going to get in trouble. I decided to go another way, and that was to let God handle everything, the way I was raised and taught from the Bible. Eventually, the church found out things about Freddie, and my father got disfellowship because of all the bad things that he continued to do. Meaning that
Yvonne Thompson's family. They say Yvonne wanted to break off the relationship.
I thought about the time that they had together. And I thought about why couldn't you just leave her alone? I was upset. I was hurt. I was angry. I was like, how could he kill her? Why he kill her? I just wish I could have saved her. And I wish I could have talked him out of it. I wish I know I could have talked him out of it. Because I'm the one that always came when Freddie was ready to kill somebody, hurt somebody. And I would have fought him to not do that to this lady. She had kids. I just wanted to tell them I had told her that, but I was a kid, you know? She could have escaped him. She could have moved anywhere in the world and had her peace with her whole new friend. That's what I would have did for her. I never got to know her. I decided to forgive Freddie because I moved on with my life and I just wanted some peace. The Bible says, forgive. I can't judge him. And that's the man that put me through hell. From the Bible, according to him, I'm so sorry for your mom. I am so sorry for her. I just felt real bad for the kids. I just did. Sad. She's pretty. Now I finally see the woman that he killed that I never ever seen. Never ever looked at footages, never looked on the computers at the library, never looked anywhere. The Bible, the devil's here. His angels are here. So as long as they're here, there's evil. Freddie stressed us out tremendously. The evil spirit in him. Yeah, evil spirits can go into people that accepts it and that it, manifests in them, infests until they turn to that.
Had tried to negotiate with Bowen all afternoon. For 5 hours, he lies out on a grassy area holding the gun.
There was a standoff. When my father was on the ground, he was telling everybody that he was sorry for what he did to his kids. Maybe he wanted us to forgive him. I don't know.
St. Paul police try to negotiate, but when talks break down, police move in.
He wasn't going to listen to anyone. He wanted to die. I believe he got what he wanted.
First, a flashbang, a puff of smoke, a distraction. In slow motion, you can see Bowen turn. Police say he points his gun at them. They fire. Bowen is killed.
I just froze. I didn't cry. I couldn't cry. I couldn't feel for somebody that didn't feel for me. I was relieved more than anything. He's gone now. He can't hurt anybody else.
The entire episode has devastated.
I just had in my head the way she looked. Everybody said she was beautiful. And that's all I had in my head. And I felt sorry for her because I would have told her so much before they had that relationship. To leave my father because he's going to hurt you. He's not going to be healthy for you. I think it's best that you find someone that's more balanced for you. My art is my therapy. When I started painting in 2009, painting helped me relieve stress, keeps my thoughts simple, makes me feel relaxed when I'm upset. I look at the paintbrushes that I will keep near, and I'll just paint. When I make a mistake in my art, I'll look at it and see what else God wants me to create from it. When you make mistakes in life, you grow from them. You don't give up. You fight. I just really appreciate life now. Life gonna always bring something new. There's always gonna be a new storm. Some people make it through the storm, some people don't. I unfortunately made it. I'm a survivor kind of person. It's important that I tell my story this time in my life because I've been suffering from a lot and I had a lot of trauma behind it. It's been a long time, this point in my life, that I feel that it needs to be released. It's bothered me a lot. It's taken away things from me. It caused me great pain. What kept me going was remembering God and Jesus, remembering to pray and to remember that I'm not perfect. I didn't ask for these things to happen, and that there was help out there. I'm super glad that he's not here to harm or hurt another person. I will probably always hurt and have night